the goal today is to do some triples in the snatch. We're gonna do. I haven't warmed up much, just stretch my back a little bit. So we're gonna warm up a couple sets of the bar, and then start with 50 for three, 70 for three, 90 for three, and then 100 for three. If everything feels really good, we might do an additional weight above that. That's kind of the minimum-ish goal for the day. And then for clean jerk stuff, we're gonna do clean 3 front squats and the jerk. So we're gonna do 70, 110, and 130. Last week I did 1 plus 5 plus 1 with 120, so that should be pretty manageable. And then snatch pulls, which I didn't do any yesterday, and I might not do any tomorrow. So I want to do them today and do regular snatch pulls and just do 5 sets of 3. So more volume in the 3 sets of 3, but less overall sets for the week. I consider doing like a continuous set like I did last week, just for like one high rep set, but I'm just gonna do regular snatch pulls and just do more sets of them. But got my shuffle working as well, so I have a bunch of old songs. So I had an old playlist with a bunch of songs, and I made a new one because once you get so many songs, it's hard to find old ones. It's hard to find any songs, and I just added them all in, so it's just one giant playlist. I believe you can find. It's called Current Vibes. It's one of my playlists. I think it should be public too. I mean, I would imagine it has 36 or 34,000 views, so I can't imagine those are all me. But it's got a wide variety of music for sure. It's very humid today. It's not as hot, but very muggy. So it's find a good tune. One problem with having a lot of choices is I can hit shuffle forever, like 900 some songs on here. So who knows? Who knows what we're going to get? So the current urethane plates that I have, I bought them new from Titan because I wanted to have kilogram plates, and I kept waiting for they're hard to find. So if you need to find just bumper plates in general, you can usually like Facebook Marketplace and find it from people if you don't care about kilos or pounds. But finding kilograms, it was just difficult. And the old plates I have, I moved them inside, and those ones are the Titan competition plates, which they are not as nice as the urethane. And I don't even know if Titan sells the urethane anymore, but from my research, they all the urethane plates, at least from the main company, so from Titan and Rogue and stuff, they're all made from the same, or they're made in the same way, or made from the same factory, like American Barbell. So they're all literally the same, whether you get it from Titan, Rogue, or American Barbell, or whatever. You're paying a lot less if you get stuff from Titan, which is ideal. Hello, CVR. But yeah, I had pound plates for the longest time out here, and I just wanted to have kilo plates, just so I could have kilo plates. Really unnecessary, but I just wanted them. so I got to use my adult money for it. But the Titan plates I all got new, and then the change plates are, I think I got them from eBay, but they're again faster. So all the little plates are a different brand, and the collars are the Klokov ones, which I think I actually got from Amazon of all things. Let's see if I can find one. They're the cheapest collars I could find, and they're okay. I mean, they do the job. They add the weight or whatever with it, and you can tighten them up enough with it. So I'm happy with these because, I mean, they're cheap. So there's no reason for me to overpay for collars because they're not really. Collars are certainly a luxury too. Like, you don't really need them if you have just regular clips, but I wanted them for the aesthetics. Kilos because I like lifting in kilos. Because kilos don't weigh as much as pounds in my brain. Oh. you ever do this with a barbell, it feels so good if you get it in the right spot on your traps. Just digs in there in such a nice way. Of course, I don't know if you have small traps, if it would work. It might just hurt. Pretty good sitting in the bottom too. It's nice with the bars. You can kind of roll it back and forth too, and tip the weight as well. I like to kind of lean my head in the opposite direction to kind of stretch my neck out a little bit too. I don't know if it really does anything, it just feels really good. Should have wore a thinner shirt. Shirt's nice, but it's like the material's like too thick. You went to Akron? Where did you grow up at? If you don't mind me asking. 'Cause I'm from up in that area. Should tell me your exact address and the last 3 numbers in the back of your credit card too. But yeah, that is Akron. So my high school, so I technically was a student there. My senior year of high school, I did post-secondary classes through the University of Akron, and so I got some credits through there. So I had to be like accepted as a student for that, but ended up going to not Arkansas, that's where my grad school is, but above it you can see Mount Union, Streetsboro, yeah. Jorge, go to bed. Time for you to go to bed. Now, anytime we see Jorge, we gotta tell him to go to bed because he stays up late. Bottom of the stream. But yeah, that's cool. So, um, yeah. So, I actually lived it at on Rival. They had an old location. So I used to live there when I is what would have been 2016 in their old building. Honestly, I mean, I don't want to say just as nice because this one's significantly larger, so it makes it nicer in that regard. But the old place is really nice too. It's just a smaller space. But yeah, Streetsboro. I mean, I'm pretty sure I had a buddy that went there for baseball. But yeah, that's right. If you know where. It's only 1:21 a.m. But I'm from Wadsworth up there. So, I mean, if you went to Streetsboro, I'm sure you've heard of Wadsworth as well. That's where I went to high school and stuff. But I live 3.5 hours away from there now, so I'm not really doxing myself. unless you randomly show up to Rubber City weightlifting when I'm randomly up north to visit my family. But that's where I grew up. So, I actually lived in Akron after I graduated college for the summer to look for jobs, and ended up moving down to Cincinnati here in 2016 when I got my first teaching job. So I've been down here. Took the ACT there. Heck yeah. But yeah, so what's funny too, so I don't know when you went to do your ACT, if it was at the new high school or the old one. But when I graduated, it was 2012. that was when they allowed the seniors to graduate early, earlier than what they would normally. It's always early, but it was extra early so they could finish construction. And so I never got to experience the new high school. I've never actually been in the new high school. Um, yeah, yeah. Since 2016. So once I graduated college, I spent that summer looking for a job, and I've been down here since then. So only time I'm ever up north is to visit family. So my family's still up there. I'm the one Cincinnati transplant, or the Cincinnati immigrant in the family. 2000. Oh, five. Yeah, I mean the school was done in 2012. So if you went in 2005, then yeah, that would have been the old school. So if you went in 2005, I wouldn't have been at the high school yet. I wouldn't have been at the middle school yet. I would have been at the intermediate school. So I would have been 2005. Would have been in sixth grade. Might have been the year I broke my arm. Yeah, so I was me and LeBron James, Steph Curry, were all born in the same hospital, Akron General. So we're all they're trying to get as famous as me, but I'm from up there and born up there and raised up there and all that good stuff. So I pulled the opposite. But yeah, Streetsboro, I was right up in that town. My dad is in Cuyahoga Falls as a teacher, so he's over there. And my sister teaches, I forget actually where, Northwest. I think it's Northwest. There's like a million north. That's one weird thing. There's a Northwest like every 5 miles that you drive. I don't know why that is. I live right by, in the Northwest School District. I interviewed at a Northwest School District way up north, and I feel like if you Google Northwest, you will find 4,000 schools around that are Northwest local schools everywhere. Um, but that's pretty dope, that you're up there. I don't know if you're still up there, but that you're from up there, in that Streetsboro area. So I don't think I ever, obviously I know of Streetsboro, but I don't think I ever had anything up there. I think my one friend, oh, was it Streetsboro? Because in the city of Cuyahoga Falls, there's obviously the Cuyahoga Falls school system, but there's the other school district that's in in that city as well, but it's a different name. I know that's where my baseball friend went, which I forget, but yeah, small world with that Ohio native. But yeah, my actually whole family went to Akron. So what year did you? So if you went to Akron, what year did you graduate from there? Because you might have been there the same time my sister was, because she would have graduated 2010. So if you did the ACT in 2005, that would have been that you would have probably been going to college in 2006 and 7. So you would have graduated about the same time, or would have been there around the same time my sister. 2013. So huh. Yeah, so I mean, if you're a physics philosophy, she was education as well. So with a large school like that, there's a good chance you wouldn't have known her. But yeah, my dad owns a couple houses over on East Thornton Street in the city. So that's where he rents out houses that are over there. You graduated in 2008. So that was the same. So you graduated in 2008. I would have been a freshman in high school. Um, so that would have been when you were starting college. I feel like my sister, she was 2 grades above me. So, what did I graduate in 2012? So she would have finished college in 2010, I think. Unless my math's off, 2011 or 2010. But yeah, my mom and my dad both went to Akron. My brother went to Akron as well. He was not in physics or philosophy either. He did 4,000 different degrees. I actually don't know if he actually technically graduated. I feel like he did, but he was in college for enough time to get a doctorate, but he kind of never really dedicated to anything until he got his current job. too smart for his own good in some ways. But physics and philosophy, that sounds brutal. Ugh. So with those, like two separate degrees with that too. Because I technically have 2 degrees as well, but I don't think. Well, maybe the philosophy is similar to education as far as the difficulty, but I would assume a physics degree is a little bit more difficult than one of my education degrees. Oh. You kind of hope, though, right? Body's feeling good, looking good. Is there a difference between a dual major and 2 degrees? Because I know, at least at Mount Union, they didn't really. There wasn't a distinction really, because I have two separate bachelors in phys ed and special ed. Actually, I have a minor too because I took so many education classes. Yeah, I would assume physics is not easy. um, so I gen. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't compete as a master's. I'm gonna be 32 this year, so I think the master's is what 35. But I don't necessarily value competing or like a specific level of competition. Because like I was gonna compete this year, but I just wasn't at the numbers I wanted to, so I pulled out of that meet. But I don't necessarily care about going to certain competitions. Any competition is fine with me. But if I had to like travel and stuff, then I probably wouldn't want to because I don't got money to be blowing on travel and all that stuff. But no, I still would like to just get generally stronger. I would assume as a master's lifter, I'd probably rank much higher. But a PhD. I guess that makes sense because you have like they're separate things. So mine's a bachelor's of arts and a bachelor's of arts. So I got like two separate degrees as well. But for um, education and like being qualified as a teacher, you have to have a bachelor's in that field and obviously get a licensure and stuff. So it wasn't, they weren't designed, especially phys ed and special ed, they weren't designed to be together. But even if I was on like a special ed and early childhood track, which is much more common, they, I believe, are two separate degrees. They were just much more designed to be able to be done together as far as the classes. Atomic physics, my, my gosh. Sound a lot smarter than me. So, uh, as I finish my master's degree in actually a couple weeks, I'll be officially done. I've always, I haven't always thought, but I thought it'd be cool. It'd be cool to have a doctorate, but I don't want to teach at a college or really do anything that would require a doctorate. And it's obviously a lot of work in any field to get a doctorate, and obviously it costs more money and stuff. It would just be cool to have it, but like I wouldn't want to like be at a college or anything. But my master's will be complete soon. It's just in phys ed, so it's not. I'm not doing two separate masters with that. My bachelor's is still, I guess, useful in the sense because I still have certification to be a special ed teacher. But yeah, I had to. I almost had to be at school for another semester to finish both of my degrees because you have to do like student teach. Just all the classes. They're not usually connected with it. There's not a lot of overlap. But so what I'm trying to say here, because we're basically the same. Physics, education, it's as difficult as each other. I can't imagine. My head would spin. Philosophy, I feel like I could have managed. I think I think therefore I am. But no, I think I could have handled philosophy. But yeah, physics. I was always good at math, but not to the extent to where I could get to higher levels of that sort of stuff. I always thought it would be cool to be that smart, but unfortunately, um, unfortunately, I am not to that level of mathematical and conceptual knowledge of high level math, or just those concepts. I'm sure there's a better way to describe it, but no, that's super cool. Because like yeah, my dad has a whole bunch of education. So he has like a principal certificate. He has at least one master's, but he had a phys ed and athletic trainer, or he actually had 2 degrees as well. So he had physical education and athletic training. But he had a whole bunch of like additional classes and a master's and a principal certificate, all of that stuff on top of it. Um, just gathered over the years. And I was like, it'd be cool to have a doctorate because it's like one thing he never had. There wasn't a purpose for him to get it, but absolutely everything. Well, Jorge, you at least would know that you could fail at it, or you could learn from your mistakes. I wouldn't. I just it'd be like me trying to learn Mandarin Chinese. Like it would just the amount of time and effort would be astronomical when I don't have a conceptual understanding whatsoever. Other than very basic stuff, but no, that's really cool to have a PhD and all that stuff. So are you trying to do, or are you like a college professor? Like what do you do with a physics PhD? Because I know for like education PhD, it's to teach at a college. Like there's not like, I guess maybe there's like educational institutes. There's we could write a textbook. There's some things, but it's not like um, it really opens a ton of crazy doors for you um, of advancement, at least for salary wise. But I'd imagine a PhD in physics would, I mean, obviously allow you to get a job in a university of some sort. But I would imagine that there would be jobs in the just the general field that would want that sort of thing. Quantum computing. There you go. That makes sense. Yeah, so you sound a lot smarter than me. Well, I can lift a heavier weight, so I must be a better learned man. But that sounds crazy cool. But no, I get to play in a gymnasium with kindergarten, first and second graders. It's a little bit different of a challenge than quantum computing. Some might say. Some might argue. I think there are some things that, like, research-wise, could be interesting to do, even from like a physical education standpoint. Because I've thought that one thing I've noticed since I've been a phys ed teacher is that you're kind of on your. Is, I won't say you're on your own, but like, there's not a structured curriculum that is given to anyone that's in phys ed that I've experienced that is like, you should do this from the beginning of the year and transition into this. There are standards and stuff that you can draw upon, so it's not necessarily like impossible, but it's not like a math or a reading curriculum where there is a structure of this is what they should do in the beginning of first grade, in the middle, and at the end. Like it's not out, and you can find those curriculums that people have made, and it ties all that stuff. But it would be interesting. I don't know if this would even be possible research, but to have curriculum that has a structure to it, of course, but to research different forms of the curriculum. So maybe on one curriculum, it goes, you have throwing at the beginning of the year, and in another version of it, you have throwing at the end of the year. And you just have it set up in different orders of different things, and then you could assess general physical preparedness of kids at the end of the year and see if if having throwing, just use that as an example, if throwing, having that at the beginning of the year, having that in a structure unit right at the beginning of the year has a higher impact of the result of their physical preparedness at the end of the year. Is just as far as their general learning, and kind of also coming up with, because I say that because that's more of like a lifter concept, but having that be a standardized thing, almost like the presidential thing, but just more like a general simple combine that would be quick and easy to do, and it's something I try to do. But to have something to where it's like, all right, you're gonna go through this battery, and we're gonna get a general idea of where you are, kind of like you're given a placement test in math or reading. Like you have this, like, all right, this is where this kid is as far as his developmental level for physical ability, physical education ability, and obviously it's not just motor skills, but you can have a variety of things. But that would be kind of the focus of it. I think that would be interesting as far as research, but that would be really difficult, I would imagine, to organize and carry out and do, of course, because you'd have to control for a lot of things. But it could also be interesting just to have that last component of like how to assess like general physical preparedness between like a first grader, second grader, and kind of seeing like you have like shape standards, which is like the national standards for physical education, but making it in a simplistic type thing that you can have be like, all right, this kid is at the 75th percentile for his physical ability based on the assessment that he's given. The presidential test, it was kind of, I think, one attempt at it, but this would be an assessment that would change each year based on a first grader would be assessed different than a ninth grader. That would be interesting to do, but I don't know how that would work necessarily. But double at 94. If you can double 94, you should be able to do 100. So I'm going to do 50, 70, 90, 100 for triples. And feels good, which it might not. It might just feel like cheeks. Then I might just stop there. But triples on all the weights building up to it. I don't know how you can do a 94 double and not take 14 attempts at 100. I'd be too tempted. I think the vibe is saying to do that for another triple. Didn't feel bad or anything. Feel ready for 70, but kind of want to put more work in. But you did 94. Is that because you have pounds? Because 94 is a psychopath type number. I really struggle at doing non-multiples of 5 in any kilo lift. It's my toxic trait. I like multiples of 5. Yeah, like so you did it with kilos. You didn't do it with like a pound plate. You said you used pounds. Because that'd be like 205. Because I don't know if I have the mental fortitude to do 94. I'd have to have done 95. Yeah. Well, it means next time you get up to 94, then you could jump to exactly 100, and that would be a pretty like logical jump. 205 to 220. 100 is one nice number you could load with pounds and kilos. So many of the other numbers are convoluted. So 94 then. So I think 93 is actually 205 then. So I think 94 is 207, if I remember correctly. So even better, you could do 94 and then the 6 kilo jump to get up to 100, depending on the jumps that you typically make. But yeah, I mean, especially at the current level, at being at 94, like going to 100 from that, I think is manageable. But depending on what your best is, it might be better to do like 94, 98, and then 100 or something. You know, something in between, maybe 97, then 100. Okay. The rabbit just ran across my door. He's always in the backyard when I walk out. He's my best friend. I talk to him all the time. His name's Hazel, after the Watership Down book. I haven't seen his brother Fiverr in a little bit. Or his mama. Mama's a big old rabbit. But Hazel's always out there. Just vibing. Eating all my clovers. He lives in the bush next to the shed, to that side. You can see him out there. Let's go look at Hazel. I'll flip the camera. There's Hazel out there. He was in that same spot earlier too. Eating, there must be some good snacks over there. Hey, that's good, Jorge. I'm glad to hear. Hazel's over there perma-balking. Hear that, Hazel? Hear that, Hazel? You doing, Hazel? He's chill. Yeah, he's my new pet. The dogs moved out, so I've adopted rabbits. Wild rabbits. He for real. I mean, anytime I see that dude, he's mashing some grass. But no, he lives, like, when he runs away, he goes under the bush, and it's a beautiful bush. It's really nice too. Like, you could fit underneath it as a person, but I don't bother it because I know that they live under there. It would feel too mean to go and disturb their house. I was joking that Hazel needs to pay me rent, but that guy's a bum. Lays around, eats all day. Imagine that. It's a Jim Rabbit. He's my Jim Rabbit. Yeah, especially I mean like as you're getting used to it, especially with lighter weights too, to have a really slow eccentric to make sure that the path on the way down, that everything you can feel the tightness that you're trying to get from the floor, and then you can just practice that to where you feel that eccentric, you feel the perfect position because as you eccentrically drop it, just down your leg or whatever and down to the floor, it kind of has that perfect pathway that you can try to mimic back up. But yeah, that and plus you get a little bit more work. But um, so what I think you do, I mean, as long as the load is appropriate, you keep it light and then you build up from there. Then stick with the full range. Be sticking with the full range. Yeah. That I mean, you could just put 10 kilos more than your 1 rep max you've ever done and just do it cold. It's another option. It's another strategy. Now, for me, like there wouldn't be any risk. If I loaded 320 on the bar and tried to do it, I wouldn't get hurt because I wouldn't move it. It wouldn't go anywhere. All right, so shirt is too thick. Okay. Not bad. The voices, the voices are telling me. Well, if you add enough weight above your 1 rep max, you can't get hurt because you won't move it. Talking about physics. That's why I can't coach people. It's like anytime I do like clean pulls / deadlifts once a week, and I just don't warm up for them. It's just whatever I back squat, that's what I start at. I think the exception was on Saturday when I did the 230 double. When I set it down, I had to take off the greens to get it off the rack because it was too heavy to take off with my front rack. So I started at 210. But when I do deadlifts, I'm too late. I actually don't know the last time that I did a clean deadlift or any sort of just regular deadlift like that, where I started with one plate at any point. I start with 120 or 110, 100, whatever is already when there's a couple plates on the bar exclusively. I feel like I have done like 70 before, or recently. Like I have, just randomly pull it to warm up. But for me, my deadlift is much more correlated to what my squat is. Like if I can squat the weight, then obviously I can deadlift the weight, but then I can do more than that. But squats warm up my deadlift. I mean, obviously they have to because I don't warm it up and You know, when I did the 300 on Saturday, like I did 210 was my first rep. So clearly, back squats are doing something to warm my body up for deadlifts, but deadlifts are also a lot easier than squats. Weightlifting should have deadlift to be the third lift. Snatch, clean, jerk, deadlift with straps. That way I can win competitions. Qualify for the Olympics that way. Change the sport. Alright, so we're going to do 9-day. It's time to throw some better days. Ahí. And ahí. Not super easy, but not super hard. Oh. You wouldn't like deadlifting with me then. You go away. Nailed that note. Yeah, no, I get that feeling. I do get that feeling. I don't get that in person as much as I do seeing people online. I'm like, wow, the person's lighter and is snatching 20 kilos more than I've ever done. Or clean jerking, wow, it's like, oh, that's Hampton Morris clean jerking 10 kilos more than I've cleaned. But at the end of the day, it's what you've done and what you can do. That's the improvement you're trying to compare yourself to, is what you've done and what you can do, not to what others can do. So they, I mean, it's just, they're other people. I think the best benefit of watching other people lift and stuff is that you can see what's possible, so you don't get discouraged or think that like a certain thing is a limit when it really isn't. Because if I had never really watched any people other lift, I would have thought 150 is the top of the world. 120 is the top of the world. I would never think that like 130 or 135 or 165 or whatever is possible, conceivable for the kind of person I am. And it's not like 120 and 150 are bad, but you gotta realize that you can keep pushing. All right. Me and Sepultura are gonna do 100 for 3. 100 up for 3. Second one wasn't the best rep, but it was good enough. So on the second rep, I didn't really want to run it forward, but if I want to keep my hands on the bar and bring it down easier, you kind of bring it down as you're standing up. I don't do the full Korean rep where you're like all the way at the bottom and just drop it from the top. But I don't know, it's hard to exactly describe because I don't really necessarily like think like, oh, this is like the partial point where I need to start bringing it down, but it's just like the part that feels natural to keep it in a rhythm so I can get to the next rep faster. The second rep was not a good example of that. The first rep was. because I just didn't control, or I didn't have it balanced as well as I needed to. I would have had to walk it forward to really stabilize it. But I mean, once I'm above parallel in the snatch, I don't think I've ever actually missed above there because it's not really a leg strength limiter. You're not limited with what you can do with your legs. So as long as you establish control, you get above, I don't know, whatever arbitrary point you set, then it'd be okay. Let me see if I can do 105. Yeah. But yeah, like the Korean rep is like you're just holding it at the bottom and you drop it from there. But yeah, I think if I stood it all the way up and then try to like recatch it, I don't know if I actually really could. It'd be too hard. Alright. You lock in. You can do this for 3. Speed was fine. Strength is fine. Just gotta make sure all the reps are good. Well, like, the kind of way that I'm doing them is pretty typical of people doing reps. But if you look up a Korean rep, I don't know if that would actually come up with anything, but a lot of, like, South Korean weightlifters do reps differently, or like Japanese lifters. Not all of them, but there's a distinct difference between what I'm doing and the kind of reps that those partial reps that they do. But if I don't have straps on, then I don't try to like do a rep like that. I just drop it and then reset. So depends on what you're trying to accomplish with the rep. At least in my case. In theory, doing a full rep every time would probably be theoretically better, but there's also like that top portion that's not typically an issue for anyone in the snatch. Alright. Little movement, little movement, little movement. Try to get back more. I think too much box so second and third route. You gotta lock in. That's not Korean. I didn't catch that one at all. They catch it like that and they stay in the bottom for a second or two and then they drop it. That would. That's just called a miss. Alright, we gotta lock in though. I had to troll me. He had to troll me. Yeah, I did get the third one. Unfortunate. Wasn't sure when it cut off. Well, shit's not bleeding. That's alright though. Not the cleanest set, but triplet 105 probably won't be super clean. I mean, only have one miss at 105 and it's a mental mistake more than anything. So on that set there, I really just tried to hold it and get it into my hip, so just hold the extension longer, and that helped a lot. First I just went early. Buenos noches, Jorge. Hasta luego. Te amo. Te quiero. Yo quiero tomar tu pie. Te quiero besar tu cara. And we'll do a session like that next week. Then our goal is to get to 110 for a double and maybe 115. Where's the light lotion? Right, exactly. There we go. There we go. You can actually see the number up there now. All right. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Blah. Okay. Okay. Alright, time to get some cleaners. It's moving over. That's all cheat and use the belt. You do the wraps, put a belt on, find a good tune, and go hog wide. Go hog wide. should be the one I use, right?
It's a risk.
Yeah. There you go. What about here, look? Come on. Something bigger and brighter. Got it.
I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in on a sense of confidence.
Whew.
Why will I step beside my own reflection? It's haunting how I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in. Got a sense of confidence. I'm convinced that there's just too much pressure to take. I felt this way before, so insecure.
Oh, shuffle doesn't work. Oh, no, now it is. I think we're gonna do 3 shots of 5. No, we do triples. Do like 130 still. We'll do it like that. It doesn't feel too heavy though. It's nice. Whew. Well, she's really fast. Since with the control rest, it's gonna be a bit more fatiguing. So one more set. Huh. Ah! Rain! Missed my last pull. Right. The triple. You also missed the gym rabbit. Unfortunate. He's perma-balking in the yard. He eats clovers all day. Oh, I tried to flip the camera. It didn't flip. He's perma-balking out there. See him. He ran across the shed door randomly during training as well. So I guess he's used to the sounds in here. Surprised it didn't spook him. But yeah, 105 for 3. I missed 105 the first time I tried it, but the triples are building up, 50, 70, 90, 100, and then missed 105 for the first rep. Then came back, made it for a triple. Yeah, I mean, he beat me up. Guy's quick. He's got some speed. I need to do some sprint training on the hill with him. But then clean jerks, I did 1 + 3 + 1, and I actually did 140, which I was surprised about. and then just did some pulls with snatch pulls with 130. Added the hang version, so one regular snatch pull, and then just basically kept control of the bar and did a low hang with the second 2 reps. So I might keep that in because I know the last week I did like one high rep set with that and made my hamstrings a bit sore. So could be useful, but yeah, got out here relatively early. What I normally do is super humid, so I'm always glad when I do wait into the evening because it's always so much cooler than if I try to come out here earlier. There's more bugs, but bugs weren't really bad today because it rained a little bit. But yeah, how was your? Did you train today? I set you up. Set you up while I take it down. Take it down to Raka, or take down the plates. I can actually feel my hamstrings a little bit. Yeah, moving a mattress, that's a pain. Jerks are finicky, that's for sure. But I wish I could say what has helped over the years with mine is just continuing to try to improve footwork and the placement and stuff. I know Dylan Cooper. He was just had that video where he's doing a bunch of jerks with Dr. Kim or I forget his name, but the other weightlifter guy. And one of them was talking about how push press is a good kind of like diagnosis for your jerk. So I think that is true. Like to have good. When my jerks have been the best as far as like the most consistent, or when they are consistent, it's not even necessarily that my push press is at its strongest, but I am. Hey, if you can, that'd be more athletic than I can, because I look like someone that just learned to walk the less than 24 hours ago when I tried to use my other foot. But when they talked about, when you dip drive for a push press, that bar has to go behind you, otherwise you fail it. You can really feel it right away. And when my jerks have always been the strongest, like I was saying, my push press, the number isn't necessarily at a 1 rep max territory. Like I'm not hitting PRs all the time in a push press, and then my jerks are really good. But what is consistent is I'm able to get up to a relatively heavy weight. So for me, it's like 120. And if I push that really effectively, really easily, I'm pushing it behind. That same sort of dip drive correlates really well to my jerks as well. So it's really good practice for the dip drive, because for me, it's always not driving enough with my legs, but then also the footwork as well, trying to make sure I go far enough out, and I perpetually push everything in front. So really for me, it's like making sure I do push presses and making sure I just try to get my feet as wide as possible, because they go out there when I think about it, but if I don't, then the bar is just super far out in front. But yeah, I don't know how to coach someone on like switching their foot or like finding out the foot that's more optimal for that. For me, it was just very natural to have my right foot go back, and I never changed it. I think I tried with the other foot a little bit, but I mean, it was it's kind of like throwing with your left hand. It's like pretty obvious that it's not optimal for the way that I'm built. One thing you can consider doing are classic power jerks where you're moving your feet, but also push jerks. So as an extension to the push press. So that could be like an easy light day session, or just like a really simple session. It's a progression that is fun to do at times, where you could do it with power cleans or you could do it out of the rack or whatever. But you start with overhead press, and overhead press to whatever number you want. You know, you go to maximum, you can go to a light number, but then you either keep it at that same weight or you drop it back a little bit and then move on to push jerks, and you push jerk up to something that feels technically correct. For me, it's like a difficult lift, so it's not like I'm gonna randomly like hit 150 with it. Like I might get to like 130 with a push jerk if I'm lucky. Um, but like say I get to like, you know, I overhead press like 90, and then I do a push jerk with 110, and then I do a power jerk with like the same weight or 120, and then move on to just doing regular split jerks. But really just getting more volume in the split jerk, holding it in the split, all of that stuff building up to it. But I don't think there's a really big secret to getting them better than just doing them a lot and trying to be as consistent with them where you catch them, and the movement of your feet and everything is even like the 140 I did today, the split was worse with 140 than was with 170 yesterday. So I mean, I'm very inconsistent with that as well. But the better I can move my feet out in a better position, usually the deeper I can catch it in the split, and then obviously the easier it is to do the weight. But I don't know. I would just keep hammering them and just make it so you just idiot proof them. Just hammer them. Just do sets of 3. You know, just whatever it takes. You know, even do a complex of overhead press, push press, jerk, and just have that, because like that will make it light, where you can't go heavy because you'd be limited by the overhead press. And then you could have a push press plus jerk, because then you're limited by what you could push press. Essentially just like multiple reps in that. But it's the hardest of the 3, I think. So it's frustrating for sure. Was the mattress that you moved, was it one that was rolled up, or was it like fully out? So I know when I got my mattress years ago at this point, it's like a foam one, so it was rolled up, so it wasn't too difficult to get into my house and stuff. They're still quite heavy though. This bar's starting to get a lot of rust on it. Need to oil it. We're gonna oil it down. We won't oil the whole thing. We'll just oil it by the collar. So brush it off a little bit. I guess I might as well just do the whole thing. Freshness does not help get the rust off or anything, but I like to tell myself it does. I really probably have to soak it in a big bucket to, I mean, it's really not that bad. I'm being dramatic about it, but I'm being overly dramatic about it. I don't really think it's a problem with the weightlifting house bar itself. I think it's just the environment I have in the shed is just not optimal for keeping rust off metal. Stupid Ohio weather. Ruining my life. Suppose if the bar was black zinc or dark, then I wouldn't notice the rust. Spray paint it black. I'm sure that would make it feel really nice. But I'll be curious to see how your jerks go with the opposite foot. Hopefully they go better than me trying the opposite foot, where if I tried more than like 100 I would die. Maybe probably would miss 100 unironically trying with my opposite foot. It feels so bizarre, even with like an empty bar. But split jerks are impossible. So deuces.